guys, and welcome to Charging Up With TBV. Hopefully everybody's doing well. We are back with another episode. I've got a special guest here today. I've known this lad for a long time. And you know, he's been on the channel quite a lot, but not of recent, in the recent years and so on. But LilyWhiteLane, Spurs fan. We're going to get into some other stuff, but he's better known as Robbie. That is his name. The YouTube channel is LilyWhiteLane. I have all of the stuff in the description and all of that. But yeah, how are you, bro?
Yeah, good, thanks. It's nice to be talking to you, Liam, after you actually haven't nicked one of our players. Normally, whenever we speak, you've taken one of our football players. So, yeah, no, it's good to be on, mate. I've watched a lot of your content on this channel. I've enjoyed it. You're a top bloke, and yeah, looking forward to talking about all sorts.
No, 100%, bro, 100%. And again, we go way back. I remember doing videos way before Harry came. I can't remember what it was. Obviously, the Harry Kane was the main saga, wasn't it? But did we do a preview or something? I can't remember.
I think we must have done like previews for. I'm trying to think. So we weren't in the Champions League that much, and you guys were in it season after season. But yeah. I do remember doing content with you before the Kane stuff. Then the Kane stuff. I remember doing, I think, some content about like Dyer and a few different bits where I've been on your channel, or vice versa. So yeah, no, we've talked quite a bit, but not for a while. So. Yeah, nice to be on.
Yeah, 100, bro. It'll be a good catch up. Let's get into, like, again. Obviously, we know you're a Spurs fan. We will touch on Spurs, but you know, this isn't for the football channel. So you know, I want to get to, because I know that you like wrestling and some other stuff. So I want to get into some other stuff. But tell me about you, bro. What was your childhood like?
Yeah. No, I had a great childhood, mate. Not a lot of problems. I grew up actually like in like a lot of DC, a lot of Marvel superheroes. I always had like real interest. Ninjago was another big thing I grew up with. I was never really into it. There was kind of different groups at primary school and school before that was called preschool. And I always fell into the group of sort of the nerdy kids and stuff. I'd like to play about with match attacks. I liked football when I was younger, but the real passion for football started about 5-6 years ago. Before that, I'd watch games of football. My dad was a Spurs fan. I was born as a Tottenham fan. I didn't have a way out. One of the first photos of me is in a Spurs shirt a few days old. So, yeah. So I'd watch games and stuff, but I'd be more sort of nerdy into Ninjago and Lego and superheroes and films and things. And then I really got into wrestling. I think it was like 2016, 2017. And I was completely obsessed with that for a few years. I still love the wrestling now, but at that point in time, I cared more about the wrestling than I did my family and friends. My life was basically revolved around when Raw was, when SmackDown was, when different shows was. And then 5 years ago, I started the YouTube channel up. It was at the back end of the back end of my time at secondary school. And when you start a YouTube channel at secondary school, you get a lot of banter for it. You get a lot of stuff thrown your way. So it gives you thick skin, I suppose. I grew up with a group of mates, so you always sort of bantering each other about the football and all kinds of different stuff. So, yeah, starting a YouTube channel in school, I'd go into like classrooms and I would just hear yes people. My face would be on like every single screen, like 30 screens in the IT classroom. So I started the channel about 5 years ago. It's continued to grow, thankfully. I'm able to earn a bit off it now, but the main reason I've done it is the passion for Spurs, really, which has always kind of been there, but properly sort of started around 2018, 2019, going into 2020.
Yeah, no, see, I didn't get it as bad as you. Obviously, you're still quite young, but I didn't get it as bad as you. But I was the same. Like, but mine was more like when we were playing football. It's like, don't pass to him. He's a YouTuber. It's like, shut up, you idiot. But like. Yeah, mine was more on the low key. Everyone knew at school, but it was more on the low key. But yeah, no, I could just imagine being British.
It was never anything horrible. It was just more sort of just banter and constantly talking about it. And I'd just be walking down corridors and have people who I barely speak to coming up to me saying, "Yes, people, come on, you Spurs," and just shouting things that I'd say in my video. So I suppose if you can look at it, look for a positive in it, it gives you thick skin and helps you to be able to take banter and sort of. There were a few mates that I had that were sort of like, no, fair play, you're sort of doing your own thing, you're doing something different. I wouldn't be able to do it, and a lot of other people would have the balls to do it. So all good fun bantering about it, but I feel like I've spoken to other people. You know, Josh as well runs True Goon, and he's spoken about like getting bantered for it at school. It's just the thing, if you do something a little bit different, if you run a YouTube channel, no matter what it's talking about, put your face and your name out there, you're gonna get lots for it.
100%, yeah. That's always the thing, and if you're doing something that's not the norm, you know what I mean, you're always gonna get teased for it and whatever. But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. It also didn't help that, you know, you were in a baby grow in a Spurs baby grow.
Yeah.
Is that
I
like,
said at the beginning of the show I didn't have any childhood trauma. That was probably a lie. It started when the Spurs shirt was put on me. So
nah, I hear it. Was that like, does that go back in generations, or is it just dad?
yeah, so my dad's a Tottenham fan and my granddad's a Tottenham fan, so therefore I'm a Spurs fan. It's got this deep-rooted connection to the club. Growing up in North London, it's a family thing. Granddad supports Spurs, dad supports Spurs, so therefore I support Spurs. I'd never have a choice otherwise, and I'd never want to support another club. Once you support a club for such a long period of time, then you're dedicated. You have feelings for that football club. You love that football club, so. Yeah, but didn't have a choice really in who else I could support. It was Tottenham. You're not interested in football. You're not watching football, kind of thing.
What was your first game you remember?
So it was Tottenham versus West Ham at Wembley.
Oh wow!
I actually never went to a game at White Hart Lane. I did the stadium tour. I never went to a game, and it was my first football game at Wembley, and yeah, it was awesome. Because it was a midweek game, it was against West Ham. It wasn't even the best atmosphere, but I'd never been inside like a packed out stadium before. So to go in there at like 80,000 Spurs fans in there singing, it blew my mind. And in that game, 2 of the goals of the season were scored. I think Bene scored a goal for West Ham outside the box. It was an absolute rocket. It came to the bar and went in. And at the back end of the game, Son scored an equaliser. We just shot it from like 45 yards out, and it curled into the back of the net. So I saw some good goals on that day, but I didn't see Spurs win until 2022 because I've never been a season ticket holder. Now, when family offers me tickets indoors and stuff, then I take it up. But yeah, never been a season ticket holder. It's more just sort of go when you can kind of thing. I went to that West Ham game. I went to like a City game, lost 3-1. I went to the new stadium. The first game at the new stadium, I lost 1-0 to Brighton. I lost 1-0 to Brighton. We lost 1-0 to Brighton. So I didn't see a Spurs win for like 3 or 4 games. I think the first win I saw was when we beat Wolves 1-0 a few years ago. We had Conte and Kane scored. So it's been painful when I've gone to see Spurs for the most part.
Yeah, no. I hear it fully. So were you watching when you had Luka Modric?
No, I wasn't. So I was born in 2007, and Modric was, I think he joined the club around then, or it might have been after the 2008 Euros, and then I think he left. It was around 2012, 2013, a similar time to Bale. So I'm a bit gutted I didn't see him live because what a player.
Did you see Bale or not?
No, because Bale left around the same time. So I kind of grew up. Kane and Son were kind of the guys for Spurs. The 16-17 Poch team with like Dembele, who now is the main like street won't forget kind of player. Everyone talks about those kind of players.
Yeah, what baller he was, man. Because when you think of Dembele now, you just think of obviously Ousmane Dembele, the guy that won the Ballon d'Or. But that Dembele midfielder, man. Oh.
He was unbelievable. When I was first getting into football, it wasn't so much Spurs players that I idolised. It was kind of like the spectacle. So I'd watch a lot of La Liga games. I'd watch like a lot of the Madrid Barca games. Because you'd have Bale, Benzema, and Ronaldo versus Messi, Neymar, and Suarez. See the players, and then the midfield players, you have Modric, Kroos, and Casemiro versus like Xavi at the back end of his time, and the pitch when he came in, Busquets. The amount of quality on that pitch kind of made me fall in love with football, along with Match Attacks. Match Attacks was kind of my first real into getting into football. I collected them a lot with mates at primary school. I've still got binders and binders of old Match Attacks and football cards. Didn't grow up with football stickers, it was football cards for me.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Mine was, I think you're a bit too young for it, but there used to be these like poker chips, and they were called, Slam Attack? No, that's the main thing. What were they called? It's like these WWE poker chips. And I used to. Let me find out what they're called because that's going to annoy me. Because they were called something. See, it just says poker chips here, but they basically were like, basically a poker chip, but with the person's face on it.
Gotcha.
And yeah, that was my thing. I obviously got into, when you're going around school and you're going around, where you live and your area and so on, with children, you're eventually going to get into what they're getting into and so on and so forth. So I did have match attacks. Didn't really understand it. Knew who some of the players were. Wayne Rooney. I've actually got a picture of Wayne Rooney there. Nobody knows that. So there's an exclusive for this pod.
Secret Man United fan, Liam. The whole buying facade, it's nonsense.
To be fair, it is actually in a Man United jersey. I won't lie to you.
Great player.
I'll show you a picture of it after, but yeah, they didn't have an England one, so I got the Man United one there. And I've already spoke about this on the pod as well. I was a Man United fan for a brief time, generally because of my close friend Taylor, because after secondary school, and don't worry, I'll shut up in a minute because this is about you, not me. But after secondary school, he was the guy that I would go to Call of Duty, FIFA, so on. So that was my pal, you know what I mean? And I still speak to him now, which is crazy, 15 years on. But yeah, because of him, and he was so he's like you. As soon as he was born, you're a United fan. Obviously different to you because you're a Tottenham fan, but you know what I mean? He didn't have a choice, you know what I mean? It was United. Yeah, there's an exclusive for you people. I'm sure I'm going to get ripped for saying that, but whatever, it is what it is. But yeah, did you ever have Yu-Gi-Oh cards and Pokemon cards and stuff like that?
I think I collected the Yu-Gi-Oh cards for a period, same with Pokemon cards, but I never really got into them too much. I tried to get into the Pokemon games and playing the Yu-Gi-Oh cards and things like that, but it was never really for me. It was more like sports trading cards. So you mentioned Slam Attacks a minute ago. I used to collect a lot of them with match attacks. I used to play a game on my phone. I don't have it anymore. I'm tempted to download it because it would bring back a lot of nostalgia called WWE Supercard, which was basically the online kind of WWE trading card game. I used to collect a lot of them because you could do it online with mates and stuff. So I remember going into school a lot of mornings showing off the cards you'd got.
It's not going to show because of the green screen. It won't show, but that game there is WWE Supercard.
WWE Supercard. I haven't played it in years. Yeah. I haven't played it in years and years, but I have a lot of good memories of WWE Supercard.
I put too much money on that game. I can't lie. Buying the packs.
Yeah, same here.
But yeah, WWE Supercard was a thing. But let's get into wrestling as a whole. What was your first wrestling experience?
I think so. I remember watching, what the cartoons called? They were cartoons around 2012, 2013. Slam City, that was it. So before I was probably interested in wrestling, I'd watch Slam City cartoons. And I apologise if you can hear background noise as well. I don't go downstairs. But I watched Slam City cartoons. I bought a few of them figures. But I properly got into wrestling in around 2017. And it's because I would start collecting wrestling action figures, putting them up against each other. I bought the ring. And I think the first pay-per-view I watched was WrestleMania 33, which was a pretty rubbish pay-per-view PLE, as they call it now, overall. But I just remember being younger and it had some really cool moments. And it looked really cool. Since I don't think they've had a stage that cool, with a big roller coaster and the kind of Universal Studios look. I thought it looked unbelievable. I remember the Lesnar Goldberg match, which now would say, it's a finisher fest. But at the time, I'm like, he's hit an F5, he's hit a suplex, he's hit a spear, he's hit a jackhammer. They're just hitting all of these cool moves. So that was the first real show. And then from there, I was sort of interested in it for about a year, didn't really understand it. Then I started watching more sort of wrestling YouTube channels. So Cultaholic was one, What Culture another one, with Simon Miller when he do the ups and downs. I'm trying to think of other wrestling sort of channels and things. But yeah, 2017, 2018 is when I really got into it. And then just before lockdown, I started watching a lot of it's called Backyard Wrestling on YouTube. And me and a few mates were interested in wrestling, started our own company. It wasn't a company, it didn't make any money. But we started our own like sort of wrestling promotion that we do in my front garden or back garden called RCW Wrestling. Robbie Clark Wrestling, very egotistical name. Basically, I would book myself to be the champion week after we can bury other people. There are still videos out there. I call myself Ryan Clark on there. There's a video on YouTube called Tribute to Ryan Clark. So for some stupid reason, I deleted them all instead of making them private. But there's a video out there that someone else did tribute to Ryan Clark. It's got clips from like 6-7 years ago of me doing wrestling. I've got about 5 or 6 mates interested in it. And then a couple of years after, they weren't as interested in rolling about with me in gardens. They were more interested in rolling about with girls in gardens. So I couldn't book anyone anymore. So I kind of gave up the RCW. And that's what led to me doing the Spurs YouTube. But yeah, really got into wrestling properly 2017, 2018 because of the look of it all. I kind of figured out pretty quickly that it was scripted, but I feel like figuring out wrestling scripted is kind of like learning a magic trick. I heard someone else say this, and I really, really like it. You either like, oh, okay, well, I know how it works now, I'm not interested, or you're like, that's interesting. How did they make that look so real? How did they do this? How did they do that? That's kind of the path I went down. Just like with football and starting a YouTube channel, you get banded a lot. But like in wrestling at school, every day, oh, you know it's fake, right? You know it's fake. You know that didn't actually happen. And I'd always come back with like, well, you watch films. You know, Brad Pitt isn't actually playing that character in that film. You know, Margot Robbie isn't actually that person in Wall Street. But yeah, I've properly rambled on there, digressed a bit. But yeah, my love for wrestling really started in like 2017, 2018, time around there.
Yeah, no. I remember doing that as well. Like I remember hurting. Like people would just come around, and they'd be like the area. They'd come around the area, and they're like, "Yeah, let me join in." And then I remember hitting someone with a backstab and then running home crying. And I remember my mum absolutely shouting and going off on me. I remember being grounded for ages because I had someone in the walls of Jericho. And they were like, ah, like proper screaming. And I was like, tap.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I remember that. So you used to film the wrestling in the front garden?
Yeah, so usually I'd either do it in the front or back garden, and I'd edit it all and upload it on YouTube. I'd have like shows, so I had a weekly show called Overdrive, and I'd have like pay-per-views. They weren't pay-per-views, but kind of like bigger shows, what would be classed as PLEs. I think I had Summer Bash, basically my SummerSlam. I think I had WrestleFest, WrestleMania. And I'd just get 4 or 5 different mates to come around. Sometimes one of them would film it, sometimes I'd balance the camera on something. We'd plan out a match, script out a match, and then go through it, basically. A lot of it wasn't very good, but it was really good fun at the time. At the time, I thought, I'm not a great comparison to make now, what's happened over the last few years, but yeah, I'm Vince. I'm booking this brilliant wrestling show, and everyone's watching it, and yeah, without sort of realising, yeah, this is an awful level of wrestling, but it was good fun. I had 4 or 5 mates that would come around and do it. And I actually went through a table once, which really hurt. I went through it the completely wrong way. Because I remember I wanted to do like a table spot, and we had like my dad brought out like a old table or something from the outhouse that was breaking down. And I put it in the front garden for a spot, and I was playing a character called like Jason or something. Basically, it was around the time The Fiend was kind of really big, and I had my own version of that. I was coming up against another guy in the company. And we planned out this table spot beforehand. Right, okay, I'm going to stand in front of the table. He's going to do this like flying kick to me, and I'm going to like jump back onto the table, and the top of my back is going to take the bump through the table. Right, that's not what happened. He goes to do the kick. I jump back and go arse first into the table. I had split this on my backside for about a week. I kid you not, I haven't felt pain since, and I hope to never feel pain like it again. It was literally like I just sort of jumped back, like in a car seat sort of stance, and yeah, arse first through the table. It was from there on. It was a downward spiral. People didn't want to take part anymore because they saw me getting hurt. They lost interest in wrestling. I was trying to call people in to try and do it. They didn't want to do it anymore. But yeah, the clip's somewhere. I'll try and find it, and I'll try and send it over to you after the show. But yeah, I had a good time whilst I did it, and then sort of
Bro took one for the team.
Such, but yeah, other people lost interest, so I lost a little bit of interest trying to sort of chase people.
Nah, I could.
Yeah, it was kind of just it was like I just jumped back like that, just completely on first. Like I was trying to sit down on a chair or something.
Nah,
Yeah, it was painful.
you're crazy, bro. Like, I used to do dumb things, but I would never go for a table, bruv. I can get it though, because when you see it like this, this is why they always do the "do not try this at home," because like,
yeah, no one listened.
oh, 100%, yeah, no one listened. I'm with you. I'm with you fully. I remember doing some silly stuff, and like, I remember that at school we'd do it, and it would be like, what was the but on the grass, obviously not on the pavement, like like edge of spear.
Yeah,
But we would do it like in a weird way where it was like we would pick out this sounds so bad, but we'd like pick out someone that didn't know that it was going to happen, someone that's like playing football or playing with their friend or whatever, and it'd be like, yeah, him. And then it'd be like, go close to him, and then they always knew something was going to happen because they turn around and they just see me going, like doing what the edge used to do. It's like, come on, and they just want to spear them. Yeah, that sounds so bad. Just picking on random kids. No, I wasn't a bully. Don't worry. But yeah, no, like I remember doing that stuff. Have you ever been to a live event or like a house show?
No, I haven't been. I've always wanted to. I don't know. I mean, my chance of going to a WWE live event again lower every year with the ticket prices now.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Let alone going to like a Raw, SmackDown, or PLE or something. I'm not a big fan of AEW, but if AEW did a show in London soon, I might go to. I don't even keep up to date with their shows. I don't know when they are, when they're in England. But yeah, I might go to AEW because it's my best chance of getting a ticket to go and to a wrestling event without having to take money out of my pension.
Yeah, literally. No, I'm fully with you on that one, bro. Like, when Cena's retirement tour when he was over here in the UK, I was supposed to go to that show, the Raw show that he was on. They wanted 500 a ticket.
Yeah, that's insane.
And that would have been me and my missus. So there's a K straight up. Then fuel money. Then train money, because obviously you know about the trains in thingy. Then food money, hotel money. Like we would have been spending like nearly 1.5K. For one night.
A lot of good holidays can be around that.
Literally. Like I'm pretty sure our holiday to Greece was like 1.7, and that was for a week, and that was breakfast, lunch, and dinner, all of it, all inclusive. You know what I mean? It's crazy money.
I'm hoping that them not being able to sell that many Mania tickets sort of makes them realise TKO that they've reached the kind of limit. Because I think as long as they keep selling out arenas, they're going to keep raising the price until it gets to a point where they're not selling out arenas. And then I think they'll realise, okay, we've pushed it a little bit too far now, then you drop it a little bit. But I think as long as people keep paying those kind of prices and filling out arenas, it looks good on TV, they get more money. I mean, yeah, it's just so expensive though. I feel like that a lot of hardcore fans, a lot of fans who basically on in the highest classes of the world aren't going to be able to go and see a wrestling show. And it's a shame really, because I'd love to go and see one. I've loved wrestling for most of my life, but especially a WWE show, it's great and impressive.
Yeah, because like me and you are kind of like opposites, where it's like in the sense of you were born straight into football, where my family, like, they would only put football on if England were playing, and it would be like, then I'd get like snarky comments from my mum or my stepdad, like, England out yet, penalty shootout, this, so on. But like, I got into wrestling because of my uncle. Shout out to him. He won't be watching this, but whatever. He used to give me like old videotapes. So I used to watch like the In Your Houses and like those old shows. So like I grew up on Hulk Hogan. I grew up on Ultimate Warrior, Macho Man. The Undertaker used to creep me out. I used to cry every time I seen him. Obviously I was young when I used to watch it. Probably shouldn't watch it at that time, to be honest with you, because he was like, really, really. I don't know if you've ever seen the old Undertaker. He was really creepy. Like he actually looked like
early 90s Taker.
yeah,
Sort
you
of
know
with the
when
purple gloves.
yeah, when DiBiase brought him out and he had like a white face. He like that was yeah. But looking at it now, it was sick. But at the time, I was super young, so he was creepy. But yeah, like that's what I grew up on. And again, I didn't get into football until when you got into well, a little bit before you got into wrestling. So I did go to shows. I was lucky to go to some house shows. I was lucky to go. I think I've been like actual live show that was on television. I think I've been to 3 or 4. And then I've been to house shows as well. Like that was my thing, you know what I mean? So like birthdays and Christmas, that would be my present, you know. I still got other like gifts and stuff because I was spoiled, but like as a whole, you know, that would be the thing. So yeah, I seen the Undertaker. I've seen bro, the Undertaker's flames, bro. I was on the side where you know when the wrestler loses, they go to the side and then they go through the curtain and so on by the entrance. Like nowadays they go through the ring area, but back then they didn't go through the ring area. They'd come quickly back up the ramp and then to the side. I was there, bro. The Undertaker's flames, you don't understand, bro. I felt like I was in an oven. They were hot, bro. So what I don't know what he was feeling, considering he was in a black coat and whatever. But yeah, I remember seeing him. I was a massive Cena fan. Cena was my guy. I don't know if you've ever seen the clip, but there was a house show in London, and it was at the time that DX were having those glow sticks, and someone threw one, and it hit Chris Jericho in the face. And he's like, come on, if you want to throw them, come on. Like he was heated, and then all you see is this like all of these glow sticks just like in the ring. My stepdad tried to take mine to throw them, and my mum went mad. She was like, I paid money for them, you're not throwing them. But yeah, no, I remember that. And then I remember seeing all the security running into the crowd trying to get this guy that like originally threw it. Which is quite funny.
So was Cena,
go on.
Was Cena your favourite wrestler? Sorry to interrupt.
100%, bro. I'm a Cena fanboy. You know, when I do,
I was different.
When
I was so different. I think I was trying to be like edgy, but I was always more into like guys like Punk and AJ Styles, Nakamura, people like that. But I get why we've seen it.
Yeah. So like my main thing was him. Like he was the guy for me, you know what I mean? And I think around that time, you know, when you've got heels like Randy Orton, you've got heels like Edge, Triple H at a certain time, and so on. Like they were very, very good. And looking at it now, you can see why I hated them, because they were so good at their job, being, you know, horrible people. But no, fully like, yeah, wrestling is. I actually went to a TNA. I don't know if you're ever into TNA, but I actually went into a TNA thing in Bournemouth.
That's
cool. See, I could tell you these things of like places because you'll know where they are. If I'm speaking to somebody else, they'll be like, "Huh, where's that?" But yeah, we went to a TNA thing in Bournemouth. I don't know why it was in Bournemouth, but it was whatever. Yeah, I remember going to that. That was when AJ Styles was the world champion. So I got to see him and his song I am like I remember that. I remember seeing Samoa Joe, the Dudleys, so on. But my mum was so fuming at the end of the show because like it was totally different to a WWE crowd. So a WWE crowd would be like, you suck, or this. This guy that was next a couple rows in front was like, rip his effing head off and stuff like that. My mum's like covering my ears and I'm like, get off me, and so on. So yeah, that was sick. That was absolutely sick. But what the AEW, by the way, just quickly, we'll get into the rest of the pod in a minute, but the AEW All In is in London is in August. Just so you know, I'm down to go if you want to go to it. That would be sick.
You know what? I'll send you a few messages about that after this. Yeah, that'd be cool, man. Yeah,
because my missus probably wouldn't want to go. So
because I don't watch much AEW, and a lot of the shows, a lot of the wrestling style, the kind of spot fest wrestling style, it's not really for me. But for a big show like that, like at Wembley in London, yeah, it'd be awesome. Yeah, I'd be well down for that.
Nah, fully. What else are you into then, bro? Because we know about wrestling. You know, we could talk. We'll talk about Spurs in a little bit because I want to talk about the
Yeah.
feeling of winning that Europa League and so on. But like, what else are you into?
I like a lot of stuff, man. I like a lot of stuff. I've always had lots of memorabilia for different things that I like. So I'm a big music fan. I listen to a lot of rock music. Anything from really the 60s till the early 2000s. The 60s and 70s stuff has more come along over the last few years. But I like a lot of bands. I really like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I
Okay.
got to see them a few years ago at the London Stadium. Queen, Guns N' Roses, Bowie, Hendrix, and then a lot of sort of British indie music, which for me, growing up in a working class sort of environment in England, it's the music I found most relatable. So bands like the Libertines, the Arctic Monkeys, the Enemy, kind of bands like that. I like Oasis as well. So a lot of rock music, but then I'll listen to a bit of country here and there as well. Don't mind that. Some hip hop as well. I'll listen to most music, really. The only music I don't really listen to is I don't listen to much grime or sort of modern sort of English hip hop.
Yeah.
But I'll listen to most things. I won't hear the songs from a certain genre and be like, that's not for me. I may not rock, but I'll listen to a lot of stuff. I'm a big film geek, massive film nerd, like a lot of action films, blockbusters, horror films, weird little indie films, a lot of TV series as well. So yeah, I like a lot of stuff.
What's your go-to? What's your go-to series now? Are you watching at the moment?
So I'm watching Pluribus at the moment. I only just started it the other day, the new Vince Gilligan series, and my feelings going into it was the same guy that did Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Surely it's good. I'm only a couple of episodes in, that's quite good, but yeah, Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, love them. Blinders, Sopranos, probably my favourite series. I'm watching Mad Men as well at the moment. Yeah, I'll watch most things. And then I have like comfort UK sitcoms that I go back to a lot, like The Office, the UK version, Only Fools and Horses. I've grown up watching that show to death. It would probably be my mastermind subject, Only Fools and Horses. I'd probably say like series 6 or 7 because I can nearly quote every line in every episode. Trying to think of other Alan Partridge, anything with Partridge in, Peep Show. So they're kind of like comfort sitcoms that I watch most of them a few times every year. But yeah, I like a lot of action drama series. And then with films, gangster films are probably my favourite. My favourite
Oh,
films.
Let's go. I'm into
The
gangster.
Departed's probably my favourite film. I like all of Tarantino's films. Yeah, that kind of genre of films. I'm a big
Did you watch
fan.
Narcos on Netflix?
I did, yeah. Yeah, I was a big fan.
Bro.
I ever watched what's the spin-off today? Is it Narcos Mexico or something?
Yeah, they sent him to Mexico at the end. Yeah, I didn't watch that either. I was like, yeah, bro, I wasn't watching for you, bro. Like, well done. You did you got Pablo, you did this. I wasn't watching for you, bro. I was watching for Pablo. Like, Pablo Escobar, like, it's going to sound mad because he was obviously a kingpin. You know, he wasn't necessarily the best guy, but bro, he's a G to me. Like you know when they do the whole if you could have a conversation with dead or people dead or alive or whatever, I always go him first because I always feel like I would love to. Obviously, I would need him to speak English because if he was speaking Spanish to me, I wouldn't have a clue what he was saying.
There wouldn't be much conversation there. No,
literally. You know, I'll end up getting hit. You know what I mean? He'd end up bloody pulling out a gun and shooting me. But like, yeah, if he could speak English, I'd just love to wrap his brain because his brain, like, and again, don't get it twisted. I'm not trying to glorify someone that was bombing streets and stuff, but you know, when you actually understand his story and you understand this thing, like he was poor. You know what I mean? He was a poor person. You know, and then that mugshot that you see people wear on t-shirts and jumpers and all of that got him, man. If he never ever went into that station, and obviously you know this because you watch Narcos, but if he never went in that station, they would have never known who he was, because obviously that's what screwed him up for going, because he was trying to get into the parliament, wasn't he? He was trying to get into the government, and they were like, what's this? Like, you got a criminal offense, you ain't getting in here. And then that's when he turned on him. But yeah, no, just to wrap his brain, to be honest, because bro, this guy had islands. This guy was burying more money than we'll ever make. Like, it's ridiculous. You know what I mean?
I relate to that because I've always been fascinated by like mobsters and the Italian American mafia, and watching series and films about them. And like you say, it's not. I'm not glorifying these people. I don't necessarily want to be like them, but it's a way of life that's so different to like mine that I just find it fascinating. I find it how there are like hierarchies in sort of like gangs. And but The Sopranos is probably my favourite series. I absolutely love that series.
I love The Sopranos too.
You actually learn a lot about the mob when you watch that. It's like, okay, there's a whole hierarchy here. You've got your capo, you've got your like consigliere, you've got your I'm trying to think of other ones like your soldiers and underbosses and things. So yeah, I've always been fascinated by the mafia. I've actually got a mob book that I'm reading at the moment called Blood Covenant by a guy called Michael Franzese, who escaped the mob and lived. So I can really relate to that because I've always been interested. Like, for example, a lot of people are interested in like a lot of the serial killer docs. It's never really been for me. I'm interested in not necessarily true crime, but learning about like crime families, organised crime, that kind of thing.
Yeah, because it's funny because it shows how much of a good actor Tony Soprano is, because that guy is nowhere near, like I've seen them on podcasts and that, he's nowhere near what he was in the thing. So that shows how much of an actor good actor he was. But no, I love The Sopranos too. Like, that's another thing as well. Again, this is going to be very, very unpopular opinion, but like going back to the dead or alive thing, I'm going to ask you that question in a second to wrap your brain. But like my other guest would be Hitler, and I know that people are going to be like, "What? You want to speak to him?" But like, I would love to know why he's so crazy. You know what I mean? And again, not glorify what he did to the people in gas chambers and all of that. Obviously not. He was a horrible person, horrible person. Loads of people died because of him. But like, you see those clips of him like shouting in German and so on. It's like, how can you be that crazy? Like, obviously you hear about serial killers and you hear about like stuff like that, but like, this guy was just next level nuts, like absolutely nuts. So yeah, like, I would love to wrap his brain. Again, he'd have to speak English and he'd probably be shouting at me the whole time, but you know what I mean? Like, I'd probably come out of that dinner table probably crying. Pablo one side, him the other. But yeah, no, like, I just the craziness of some people. It's like, why are you so mad? You know what I mean? And I've watched documentaries of like he was quite literally nuts, straight up nuts, like screw loose type nuts. So, but yeah, if you could pick 3 people, dead or alive, who would you go with?
That's a great question.
Obviously, take away family members because you love them, obviously.
Yeah. 3 people, dead or alive. Okay. Because I'm thinking there are a lot of people that I idolise or are big fans of. For example, Harry Kane, Spurs legend.
Yeah,
love Harry
of course.
Would I want to have a conversation with him? Probably not. It would be a little bit plain, to be honest.
Yeah.
David Bowie would be one.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
I love his music. I absolutely love his music, but I also think his life story is incredible. The amount of things he was involved in, what he got up to is, it'd be really, really interesting to have a conversation with him. He's really intelligent. He speaks when he's interesting. So Bowie would probably be one of them. Bowie, I still don't know which is the right way to pronounce it. But yeah, he'd be one. CM Punk would probably be one. He's always probably been my favourite wrestler. I've never had like one out and out favourite that I idolised, but I've always been a fan of Punk because I always thought, like, when everyone else did like seeing, I thought, I'm going to be weird and edgy here, and I'm going to like Punk because he did the pipe bomb and this kind of thing. So Punk would probably be there, and that Colt Cabana podcast as well. He speaks well. He's a good storyteller. So Punk and Bowie, interesting table so far. And then I would, a lot of people go with like a lot of like really, really famous people in the past, like world leaders and stuff. And I get why, because it'd be interesting to pick their brains. But I'd probably want a comedian there, because I'd want to have a good night. Really, I'd want to have an interesting night. So I'd want to learn about things that I like, but I'd want to have a few laughs. So I'd probably go with Greg Davies, which is a very, very random comedian choice. Mr. Gilbert in the in-betweeners. But he comes across really well. He's the kind of bloke you could sit there in a pub with and have a chat to for hours and laugh your arse off with. So yeah, weird table. Greg Davies, CM Punk, and David Bowie.
No, I'm with it. Like, and again, if you don't know who Greg Davies is, get to know, because he's hilarious. Like, and that's not just a British take, and it's like, oh yeah, you know, loving the Brits, so on. Like, no, that guy is like stupid funny, and he doesn't care. Like, he'll do dumb things. Like, he'll just take his shirt off and start rubbing his nipples and stuff, and you're like, brother, what are you doing, bruv? But it's funny. You know what I mean? So yeah, no.
There are so many that question. Like I'm thinking now, like loads of famous actors that I've liked, and then would you want to pick the brains of like a high-ranking ex-mobster or like a world leader, or bring back someone from the Battle of Normandy or the Battle of Fulford Gate from like the 1060s or something. So yeah, I could fire away names all day, but I'd be thinking about how much fun do I want to have at that table and people who I'm interested in. And I am interested in history, but I'm more interested in wrestling. So we're putting CM Punk on there. We're having some laughs with Greg Davies, and Bowie's going to tell some stories to round out the night with a brilliant sing-song.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And that's the thing. Like, if you're going to pick a wrestler's brain, I think Paul Heyman's got to be up there.
Yeah, or Jim Cornette as well is one for me. I listen to his podcast a lot. Paul Heyman is brilliant, because the good thing is with him, you can never tell who the real Paul Heyman is, because he blurs the lines so well. It's a little bit like MJF, who's another one. I said I'm one of the biggest fan of AEW. I think that guy is absolutely unreal, because you can never really tell like where the character stops and where the real MJF actually starts. But Paul Heyman's a great shout. Yeah,
he would be the guy. 100. Let's you said movies. Wait, actually, I was about to move into Spurs, but movies. What are you into, like superhero movies?
Yeah, big fan of Marvel, DC.
You're into both?
It's kind of my first love. The first thing I was really into. I prefer Marvel, but since Endgame, things have dried up a bit. But then Doomsday later this year, so it'll be interesting to see what they do.
Who's your go-to? Who's your favorite?
A little bit like wrestling. I've never really had an out-and-out favourite. I have had people that I sort of prefer, though. My uncle is kind of the person who got me into Marvel and DC and wrestling, a little bit like yours. But he's also always been like a massive Hulk fan, like absolutely huge Hulk fan. I do like Hulk. I've always quite liked Loki. Found Loki quite interesting. I've never really had an out-and-out like favourite Marvel character or favourite. With DC, it would probably be Batman, which is a very boring, basic choice. But I found villains cool when I was younger as well.
He is cool. Batman is cool, to be fair.
Yeah. So it would probably be Batman, to answer your question. But yeah, I love Marvel. DC, I grew up loving. Like, I played the Arkham games. I love them. I haven't watched loads of DC over the last few years. But the Arkham games, especially the first two, Asylum and or is Asylum the second one? No, Asylum's the first one. City's the second one. They're good games.
I'll give you 3 guesses. Marvel superheroes. I'll give you 3 guesses. See if you can guess who my favorite is.
Iron Man?
No.
Okay. Captain America?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Just rattling off the Avengers. I think it's got to be one of the Avengers.
But I like him from the cartoons. I didn't get into the film straight away. So he used to have these like weird like things on his helmet that they never brought into the MCU, which is really annoying because they would have made him look so much more cooler. But it is a bit of a bland answer in it because he just can't die. So of course you're gonna like that guy.
I'm a big fan of Harley Quinn as well. I think Harley Quinn's
of course, great character, 100%. Black Widow, like a bit of leather, you know what I mean? I don't know where this podcast is going. But no. Were you ever into like any like Nintendo stuff? Do you like Mario?
I grew up playing Mario and Sonic the Olympic Games. The Beijing
On the
one and
Wii.
the London games. I love them games, yeah.
On the Wii, yes.
Yeah, they were great
Yeah,
games.
I remember that.
And Super Mario Party as well. Love Mario Party. I grew up watching, there was this weird channel I used to watch as well a lot when I was young, which I probably shouldn't have been because they're aimed towards like sort of more teenagers and I was watching them before I was a teenager. They're called SNL and they use like Mario and Sonic kind of puppets and things. They're Americans and they have them come out with all kinds of like swear words and crazy things and comedy. But yeah, Mario and Sonic the Olympic Games Mario and Sonic the Olympic Games are brilliant. Mario Party, Mario World. Yeah.
Were you ever into Skylanders?
Yes. Yes, I was. I love Skylanders. I used to go to CEX every week in town, and I would buy all of the Skylanders that they had in the window because they wouldn't be full price. And yeah, that's one of the games I miss playing because it was interactive. You put them on the thing. Yeah, Skylanders was great fun.
Let's go. You're the first person I've asked and they've said yes. Let's go, man.
I've got some of the figures somewhere. I don't remember many of the names. I haven't looked at anything Skylanders for years and years. But yeah, I remember playing it years ago.
Oh, bro, I'm a massive... You can tell I'm a nerd. And I'll gladly say I'm a nerd because, bro, obviously having a child now, like the inner child in me is coming out. And there's nothing my missus can do. Because if it was just like me and my missus and we didn't have a kid, she could eventually like see, come on, like you're 27, going on 28, relax, you're not a child no more, grow up, blah, 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 play your...
Now you've got a reason.
Yeah, now I got a reason. I get the little one into it. So, bro, I used to have them all. Man. Like, I loved it. I never got into the later games because that's when I was, going into GTA, Call of Duty, so on. But the first two and the Swap Force ones, I love the Swap Force. The fact that you can swap like the characters out and stuff. Yeah, man.
Like half and half of different ones.
Yeah.
The Lego games as well. I miss playing them. Lego Marvel Superheroes was one of my favourite games. I played that for years and years. And Lego Batman. All the Lego games were great. Lego Star Wars as well. Big Star Wars.
You're into Star Wars. Let's go, bro. This pod's gonna go on forever. We can talk
I know,
forever.
yeah. That's why I wanted to come on because I keep hearing you talk about things. But you're literally an older version of me with interests. You like literally the exact same stuff. But, yeah,
who's your go-to for Star Wars then? Vader. Say Vader.
Probably Obi-Wan.
Damn it!
I was really into Obi-Wan. My first crush was flipping. What's her name? Padme. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Don't.
Attack of the Clones.
She is.
Revenge of the Sith kind of in Attack of the Clones. Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing against that because that woman, even now, is just ridiculously.
Little Robbie felt things he never felt before when he saw that woman on the TV. No. New emotions. New things happening.
No, I was not expecting you to say something like that. Oh, that's mad.
Things started happening that I couldn't understand to my body at the time. So I was like, transformation scene into something, yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I love because I get why people that grew up in the 70s, 80s, and 90s like shit on the prequels, but it does my head in when they do. It's like, yeah, they're not the best films. But as a kid watching Revenge of the Sith, I watched that film to death because all you care about as a kid, you don't care about plot points or good storylines. You just want to see loads of lightsabers everywhere. And that film was just lightsaber fight after lightsaber fight after lightsaber fight. It's like Phantom Menace for most of the film was boring. Yeah. But Maul versus Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, that 10 minutes, like watching that as a kid, my mind was blown. It was unbelievable.
No, I'm with you fully. My go-to is Vader. I don't know. There's just something about it. You would think
Rogue One as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. That scene in Rogue One. Oh my word! Like that film as a whole is one of my favorite Star Wars films.
Yeah.
But like that scene at the end, like everything. Like oh, bro. Like I'm fully with that. I think there's something wrong with me because I'm just thinking. You're talking of the H word that was doing a madness in Germany. Pablo Escobar, Vader. There might be something wrong with me here.
You
know
like
what I mean?
bad guys.
Bad guys, yeah. To be fair, my favorite wrestler right now in the company is Gunther, so I do like bad guys.
Same here, yeah. Yeah, I love Gunther. I absolutely love him. You see people going, oh, all he uses is his chops and clothes on. It don't matter how many fancy moves you have. If you do them well, that's what counts. And that guy, he looks the part. He looks intimidating. He's the perfect heel as well. Because as soon as someone beats him, the pop that they will get, the first person to beat him since he retired, Cena and AJ. And Goldberg, I was about to say, no one cares about Goldberg. But yeah, since he retired those last two, that was the best bit about Goldberg, the entrance where he smashed his head on the door. But
yeah, I do feel like there was something wrong with him though. Like bro's headbutting the door, bro. Like,
yeah,
what's going on?
Yeah,
but what do you think of the newer Star Wars films? Are you a lover or a hater? Because they are kind of like Marvel.
I quite like Force Awakens. I quite like that film. I went to see that in the cinema, and it was the first time I'd been to see Star Wars at the cinema. So the big for the first time on the big screen was like wow. And yeah, I quite like that film. I think it was a good film. Han Solo dying, I think made sense. Sorry for the spoiler. I should have said it before I said that. Anyone watching this, but it's been out since 2015. But yeah,
no, anyone that's watching this that hasn't watched that, that's your fault.
What annoyed me was Kylo Ren was made to look like a. I'm trying to find a word that doesn't get your channel demonetized. It was made to look like a cut.
Hey, brother, respectfully, I ain't even monetized yet. So say what you want to say.
Okay, yeah. The first film, I thought he looked really cool, and then no disrespect, but then he takes the mask off, and it's like, it doesn't look as intimidating or as like a villain anymore. But I like Force Awakens. I think Last Jedi was awful. But Last Jedi looks fantastic for me compared to Rise of Skywalker. But it was it J.J. Abrams was meant to do the 3, and then he tried to recover it with the 3rd one. And after what happened with Last Jedi, I think he struggled. Are you a fan?
Yeah, I like them. I got into I'm really late into Star Wars, so I got into it in lockdown. So like I know certain things from like watching certain clips on YouTube, watching a little bit with my uncle and so on, but I wasn't into it until lockdown. And I was like, we had Disney Plus at the time, and obviously in lockdown there was nothing to do, and I didn't want to always be with my missus because obviously we couldn't go out. You could go for one walk a day, you know what I mean? Thanks, Boris Johnson, you prick. But like overall, like that was my thing. The missus would, because I'm a night owl, so the missus would always go to sleep and then I'd be alone. You know what I mean? And I didn't start the channel at that point, so I couldn't talk about buying. Obviously, buying weren't playing at that point, so yeah, I got into the Star Wars and so on and so forth. I did watch them backwards. My first film was Revenge of the Sith. So yeah, I shouldn't have watched them backwards, but I've watched them all now. But overall, like, yeah, I got into it. I love Grogu, bro. He is my Funko Pops. I had nearly every single Grogu one. I don't have them anymore because I had to sell them because I just had way too many. I've still got, you can't see them behind me, but I've still got all of the SpongeBob ones, and they go for low. Yeah. So yeah, Grogu's my guy. I can't wait for the film to come out at the end of the month. I'm going twice because the little one wants to go and see it, but I can't go and see it with her first because if she asks me questions, I'm gonna end up headbutting her. Yeah, that is a joke, by the way. Before anyone calls.
I hear that. Yeah.
Like
I've never
before
really
anyone
went to
calls
the cinema.
The police on me, that is a joke. I am joking.
I've never really went to the cinema like with people because I prefer to go by myself. Because the good thing is when you go with people, you can talk about it after. But the main reason, like I said to people, I go by myself. They're like, yeah, but you're not with anyone. So, well, I'm not going to sit there talking during the film, am I? So when I have been with people, I went to like school and stuff with a few mates, and just a few were next to me, just constantly in my ear, like, what do you think is going to happen next? So I don't know. I'm watching this at the same time as you. Just let me watch it. But I got a Odeon Limitless membership in the summer last year. I've been seeing like a lot of films since. like I went to see Weapons at the back end the last time. That was a really good film. I really like that. I've seen a few since that have been quite good. I went and watched Scream 7 on Friday. That was quite disappointing. But this year's meant to be good for films. Mando and Grogu, Spider-Man, Doomsday. Yeah, quite a good few films coming out.
Yeah, I think because of Grogu being such a thing for kids, I will probably go to whatever the latest one is. Because yeah, like when I go with the little one, we'll go to an early one, but yeah, I'm gonna want to concentrate and see what happens and so on, because there's certain characters in that film that we've seen from the trailers that we haven't seen since the cartoons. So I want to see. I'm so excited for it. Honestly, I'm so excited for it.
I think Mando is the best thing they've done in years and years. Like
the
third series, I think was good, but the first two were brilliant. And you've seen the ending of series 2, haven't you?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to say spoiler alert for anyone watching. That scene with Luke is just like, it brought back so many childhood memories for me, and just the love of Star Wars came back. I was like, oh, that was so good. It was so good. And having like Gus Fring basically as the bad guy as well, it was quite cool. But yeah, Mando and Grogu, I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping they don't mess it up with any film that I care about. Like when they released the James Bond film a few years ago, I was like, please don't mess this up, because I really like James Bond. I love James Bond. Please don't mess this up. And I kind of have that same feeling with this. I love The Mandalorian. Please don't mess this up.
Yeah, no, I'm with you fully. And that's the thing. Obviously you won't know at the moment because you don't have any little ones running around. But like eventually when they grow up, they start trying to quiz and what's this, so on. That was one of the things she said to me the other day. She was like, what is the coolest Star Wars moment you've seen? And I was like, Rogue One. And I showed her. She's like that. And then I showed her Luke, because she loves Grogu as well, obviously, being a child and whatever. So I was like, like, watch this. And she's like, who's that? And I'm like, that's powerful. That's what that is, when he's chopping these robots in half and all of this stuff. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So yeah, I will definitely go and watch that film. Were you ever into Avatar? The blue people?
I went to watch the last film in December. Yeah, I quite like Avatar. I think they're going to make another few, but I think the last one did the worst out of all of them at the box office, and I don't think it did too well as a film. But yeah, I like Avatar.
Yeah, that's like my go-to. Like I have like all of the pops, and I can't get the Lego because the missus won't allow me to. She's like, "You're gonna get it, and it's just gonna stay on a shelf." Me. But yeah, did you ever play the game? I think I've got the game here.
No, I haven't.
Nah, like if you ever get spare time, obviously you're still, the game is sick. Like you get your own, without spoiling it, you get your own Ikran, which is the dragon. And you get to, bro. Oh my god, cool. Just talking about it, I'm gonna have to play it again.
I'll give it a go then, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's sick, absolutely sick. I love it, absolutely love it.
I'm going through GTA 5 at the moment again, because obviously the sixth one.
Six is coming out,
It's out at the end of the year, so I'm having like a last sort of play through the story of GTA 5, and that's a great game as well. I've played it to death, but yeah, love it.
No, who's your favorite character in GTA?
Trevor probably, yeah.
Are you feeling all right? Bro said Trevor.
It would probably be Trevor. Yeah, because it's great fun when you just switch to him out of nowhere, and he could literally be doing anything. 1 minute he's in like a bin crawling out, the next minute he's like coming out of a strip club with pants on his head. Yeah. I thought GTA 4 compared to 5, I think the story's better in 4.
Oh yeah.
It's a little bit more dark, to be honest. And then San Andreas is good. Vice City I haven't played, which I need to play.
Did you ever play the Ballad of Gay Tony?
No,
that's a good one. If you're into like
4, San Andreas, and 5.
Yeah, well, if you ever want to go back into playing them, obviously I don't know if you have a PS2 because it's not on obviously normal consoles, but if you ever do, play that one because that one's really good. Obviously the graphics ain't going to be anything we know now, obviously, but that one's really good. But yeah, my favorite character from the GTA is Franklin. I think that's personally because I'm really into hip hop. Like hip hop is like my genre. I will listen to like Biggie, Tupac, and then obviously into Eminem, 50 Cent, and then obviously grime stuff nowadays. But yeah, like I relate to him, and I think I relate to that culture as well. You know, and obviously not saying I'm in that culture because I'm not. But like overall, like that culture to me is cool. But Spurs. Let's talk about Spurs. You know.
Do we have to? No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
No,
One
no,
thing
no.
quickly as
Yeah,
well. You're a boxing and UFC fan, aren't you?
Hey, bro, I'm down. I'm down for the switch. If you wanna, let's switch.
Can we just
bro.
prolong the Spurs
With
thing
me,
for a little
bro.
bit because it hurts me a little bit
Yeah,
when we talk about Spurs at the moment.
No. Go on.
Did you see the Conor Ben news the other day?
Yeah.
What do you think about it? Do you think it's a bit snaky?
Yes, but at the end of the day, the thing is, right? Let me switch this back. The thing is, the problem with it, right, is I understand where Eddie Hearn's coming from, and Conor Ben doesn't help himself because in interviews he said, "I've got loyalty. I don't need money." Da, 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 da. But the problem is, you're a prize fighter. I don't care what anyone wants to say. You know, these people in UFC, in MMA, in boxing, in any combat sport talk about legacy. It's not about legacy. Cool. Are the trophies and that cool? Yeah. And the titles and all of this stuff. It's about money, bro. Like it literally is. You're fighting for money. You know, eventually when you've got a lot of money, like Tyson Fury, you don't really need money anymore. But overall, when you actually deep it, they're prize fighters. So no one should be loyal. You know what I mean? Yeah. Now, obviously, us being football fans, we get the loyalty. You know, you specifically get the loyalty. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you would have switched on Spurs a long time ago. But overall, like, I understand it. But bro, he's getting paid by Turkey Al Sheikh. Like, respectfully, that guy's got more. Like, over there, you don't have to declare how much money you earn, bro. He's got ridiculous amounts of money. That we would never be able to fathom. And, you know, this is the thing. I don't know if you've seen the fallout from there's a fallout, like all of the UFC fighters are pissed because Conor Ben's getting 50.
I saw Sean O'Malley talking about
that. And that's the thing, like they're fully in their right to talk about fighter pay, but they're like, the problem is with Dana White, right? Dana White is obviously the face of Zuffa boxing. So he's always going to get flack. He's always going to get this and that. But the problem with it is it's not actually Zuffa boxing that are paying the fighter. It's the guy behind Zuffa boxing. You know what I mean? So, like, do UFC fighters deserve more money? Yes, they do. Like, they don't even get like 5% of what the earnings are. It's ridiculous. But the problem is when you've got Turkey Al Sheikh, he's the one doing it. Like, he is the biggest mob boss in the world right now. Like, he might not actually be doing a madness like some of the mob bosses that we know, but this guy went to Frank Warren. He went to Eddie Hearn. He was shaking hands with people just to get his name out there. Well, people already knew him, but get his name out there, flash his money. He's the savior of boxing, and out of nowhere, bro, he's hit them both with an RKO. And now
it's always been the plan, though. And Eddie and Frank haven't really much of a choice but to go along with it. I mean, we see it in football as well, in golf. The main plan is for Saudi 2030 to get as many events over there as possible to sort of boost the tourism board and economy and stuff. I get it. The only problem I have with the Conor Ben thing is I read up the other day that I think Eddie gave him money during the drugs testing. During the whole drugs testing, never has been. And I kind of get the argument from Ben if he wasn't guilty of, well, people more important than you, Janko, questioning me have cleared me and said I'm fine, so I'm fine. But there was never like pure evidence posted that he was. The excuse, it might not be, but the thing about eggs, I think was given to him by Maurizio Salami. So my kind of thing on it is, when he kind of stuck by you, Matthew, and they're not the best people in the world. I like Eddie, no context now. I mean, he's funny, they're good promote, but they kind of stuck by you through all of that. And then you've had the big offering you've got, but he won't be the only one. I mean, AJ would probably, with everything going on in the moment, probably shouldn't talk about him. But I think bad example, but like Fury, I think all the big stars.
Fury's going to be the next one that's interesting, bro. Fury will be the next one that's interesting because he is with Turkey Al Sheikh for this Netflix fight. And he's already come out saying that he's gonna he's still with Frank, but let's see if he actually is, because after he gets this Netflix money, he might not want to be with Frank anymore. Have you seen how much
everything he says with a pinch of salt?
Oh, bro, this guy's retired about 6 times. Yeah. No, I'm fully with you. That's the thing. He's retired about 700 times, so you don't know what's real and what's not. But it's going to be interesting to see, because this guy, he loves the money, man, and why wouldn't you? You know what I mean? I fully understand it, but yeah, it's a bit weird. I can't lie, it's a bit strange. Why am I getting notifications? UFC, who actually boxing, because we were talking about boxing. Who is your guy for boxing? Do you have a favorite or not?
It was AJ growing up, because one of the first big fights I watched was him versus Klitschko at Wembley. Yes. And it was a great fight. And he had those few years where he was literally fighting anyone. I respect a fighting champion in anything, really. And he was having 3-4 fights a year. I remember him fighting Takam, Parker, Povetkin, big fights at Wembley, knocking these guys out. It all sort of went a little bit wrong with his fight, but it definitely was AJ for a period. Recently, it's kind of been Nick Ball, but I mean, he got flattened a few weeks back. Chisora is up there. I mean, the guy's off his rocker. He's a complete nutcase. But I'm worried about him in this Wilder fight, because I think stylistically, he's the kind of guy that Wilder can load up a punch on and land. And when Wilder, even though has kind of got twig legs at the moment, and he's not the fighter he used to be, when Wilder lands, I mean, there's not many punches but Chisora, I like that kind of just. He's not a great technical boxer to watch, but he'll go in there and fight. He'll give 100%. He'll show heart, and I love that. It's Rocky stuff. About films earlier, Rocky. I love the Rocky films very much. I like Lomachenko, good technical fighters. Like with a lot of things, I don't have, I suppose, an out-and-out favourite. It was AJ, but I have fighters that I like, and I'm not a big Fury fan. Never really have been, because of the whole ducking AJ kind of stuff and the contract business, and I just. Fury's never really appealed to me. Dillian White's never really appealed to me. There's a lot of fighters that really appeal to me.
Do you like
for example?
Yeah. Do you like Crawford?
Yeah. I'm not a massive fan of him, but I don't dislike the guy, because I kind of respect that he fought Canelo, Errol Spence. He kind of fought the best before he retired. So I don't mind Crawford. The guys I really don't like Devin Haney. I can't stand that guy. He does my head in.
Bro, I was so happy when Ryan Garcia landed on him, bro. Yeah. I was celebrating.
And even if Garcia was on drugs, he still knocked you out. You can't erase that from history like him and his dad are trying to.
Yeah. No, I'm fully backing you on that one. That guy does my absolute Sweden. Bro, he talks like he's Floyd. You're not Floyd, bro.
What about you? Do you have
that's
a favourite player?
Oh yeah, that's the thing with Floyd though. Floyd was obviously the Philly shell, the defensive style, so on, but he doesn't do that. Devin Haney doesn't do that. The guy just runs around the ring. You know what I mean? You're a good fighter, but you're a pussy.
It's the same with Shakur Stevenson as well.
Yeah, they're good fighters. They're technical. They're this, they're that, but Floyd would still try to knock you out. That was the thing. Me personally, my favorite of all time is how have I forgot his name? What's his name? Prince Nassim. He's my favorite. Yeah. But obviously I didn't grow up on him. Obviously he was fighting when I was young. So he's my favorite of the modern era. I don't know why, but I love Deontay Wilder. I think it's the Bomb Squad and all of that, and then he goes and chins you. Yeah, I like AJ. I did like AJ. I always,
been to a boxing fight?
No, I would love to.
I went to Johnny Fisher's a few years ago. It was the first and only boxing fight I've been to. I went to watch Fisher versus Babbage. I think it was. I know it's got a bit wrong for Johnny Fisher's things, and that was in the copper box. And they've done it really well. I think Big John, like, if you went, everyone was sent like a shirt, and it felt like you were part of a family, as part of an army. Like thousands of people wearing like a big Romford Ball kind of t-shirt.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not from Bat and Arrow away from Romford, but that was quite cool. I want to go to like a big fight. Sorry, I cut you off there.
No, that's fine. Yeah, I would love to go. Like my mate has gone to a couple AJ fights, and I'm like, you're a prick. So yeah, no, I would definitely want to go. The only thing that puts me off, you know, this personally, being English as well, it's just, bro, I don't want to be around a bunch of drunk people. Like just leave me out of it. You know what I mean? Because I don't drink. Me personally, I don't. Yeah, it's just not my
straight edge. Which probably comes from punk a little bit, but yeah.
100, bro. No, I'm with you fully. But yeah, trying to think. I love Crawford. I think Crawford is one of the best we've ever seen. Yeah, what he did to Canelo, I knew that was going to happen as well. I knew he was going to slap Canelo up because Canelo's good, but you know the fight that he against Bivol, I was like, yeah, this guy's good. But he's not, like, you can see him now. I don't know if you've seen the recent posts. He's like, come on, man. You got to give me another shot, man. And it's like, bro, it's going to happen again. Like, he obviously just wants the dough. I liked Billy Saunders for a little while. But I feel like he piped up too much. And then Canelo absolutely embarrassed him. Yeah. What about UFC, though?
Alex Pereira is my guy.
Yeah, he's a charmer.
He's awesome to watch. He's so cool to watch. Certain moments that he has in the octagon as well, like the one against Hill where the ref put his hand in and he pushes him away and then knocked him out after. I think he's an exciting fighter to watch, man. Look, his personal preference, but I don't want to see someone take someone down in the first minute, not even go for a submission, look for control time for the next 24. That's just not the style. So
you don't like Hamza?
No,
I see that.
It's not really the style for me. I appreciate great wrestling. Like it's just as exciting. A knockout for me is just as exciting as a guy taking someone to the ground, going for the ground and pound, elbows, then looking for a choke or arm lock or something like that. But I'm not a big fan of a lot of the fighters that are currently champs. Like Hamzat's definitely one of them. Islam gets slapped for that a lot. A lot of people say, "Oh, it's the Dagestani fighters." I don't think it is though. Islam, I know his last fight wasn't that exciting, but Islam for me is always really exciting to watch. Most of the time, always going for submissions and things. But the kind of fighters I like, guys that are going to throw all sorts, jumping knees, spinning heel kicks, like uppercuts, then ground and pound, then elbows and things. So Pereira, another one is Tom Aspinall. I don't know why he's getting all the hate at the moment after Garn stuck his massive chunky fingers in his eyes. For some reason, Aspinall's a cheat, but okay. Yeah, Aspinall, Pereira. I like Poirier. I like Holloway. I like Oliveira. These kind of exciting wild fighters in the octagon. Bisping as well. Didn't see him too much live, but yeah, Bisping for his story and stuff with his eye. I watch an MMA channel a lot with the MMA Guru. So if I don't watch a lot of the MMA stuff, I'll keep up to date with him. But yeah, Pereira's my guy. He's awesome.
Oh my God, I can't! Oh my God! Stop! I'm overwhelmed with joy!
Me too, brother. Me too.
I kind of relate to him as well because, not in a good way, because I'm not the most social person. I'm not necessarily shy. If I get to know you, I'll chat to you all day and shoot you over about stuff. But I don't really like being out too much. A lot of the stuff he says on his streams about kind of being in and being a bit different and weird, I'm like, yeah, I relate to that. And some of his rants and things, I remember he had that one rant after Marab beat Yan, where he just absolutely snaps like a breadstick out of nowhere. It's like, the army's and then just absolutely goes mental.
Yeah, no, I love him as well, man. Like I think we relate to him because of the even with football, we're like outspoken and very much like the indoor people You know what I mean? Like, I know a couple of people, and this is no diss to them, but like they'll go out on a Friday night to clubbing and stuff, and that's just not me. Like, you're never going to see me in a
Same
club.
here. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know that,
Yeah.
and all to their own, of course. But you know, I relate to him as well. You know, is in like just outspoken, and I feel like a lot of people around the world don't get our humor. The UK humor is they don't get it. You know what I mean? Like the amount of arguments, and I don't get it twisted. I'm probably in the wrong for some of them, and we're not going to get into it. But like the arguments I've had with some Americans and stuff, and they just like I've said certain things and they've got like upset about it, and I'm like, bro, like this is the humor we have over here. You know what I mean?
I feel like
yeah.
the big difference is, especially in America, they always put an emphasis on sarcasm, whereas we don't. So sometimes it's quite hard to tell whether a British or English person is being sarcastic because we just say it like we're not and fit it in. But that's where the comedy comes from. You're saying it like you're being serious. That's what makes sarcasm funny. I don't think it's the lowest form of wit. A lot of comedy I like is sarcastic. But you just said something there that really relates to me about not going out and clubbing. This is why I said earlier, I think we're quite similar in that. I know I'm younger than you, but I grew up around sort of laddie people going to the football and stuff, but I'm just as happy being by myself. I like my own company. I'm pretty easily amused by mucking about and doing things. You know, I don't get bored easily, and the drinking thing kind of comes from each to their own. But like my mum's an alcoholic. I've had family members that are alcoholics. I've seen the effect that it can have on people, and for me personally, it's a thing of it stopped with me. I'm not going to let, if I ever have children, I'm not going to let it affect them. Each to their own. If you want to go out and drink, I think monkey's fair play to you, but I'm not going to, and I'm not going to do it just because of peer pressure. I'm going to do it because I don't want to do it. That's why I sort of don't drink, and I stay in a lot. But it's not necessarily sad for me that I stay in a lot. I prefer my own company instead of sort of. I've never really got going out clubbing every Friday night and that kind of thing. Like you said, it's just not really the kind of life I've lived really up to this point.
No, I'm fully with you. Just posting out that my podcast went live, but no, I'm fully with you. Like I've had arguments about it, and like again, I'm fully with the fact of like my missus personally, she goes out with her girls at times. You know what I mean? And you know, I have to reel it in a little bit because I don't want to be controlling. Obviously, you know, she's her own person. She's totally different to me, so on and so forth. But I feel like that's what makes us work as a couple because we are totally different and opposites attract. But yeah, she'll go out and she'll come back tipsy and all of that, and I'm like, why have you done that? You know what I mean? But then I have to like get in my own head, and I'm like, she's not you. Remember. You know what I mean? And you can't make her you. That's never going to happen.
I'm sorry, I'll try not to interrupt you again, but I just want to say on that point, it's just coming to my head.
Yeah.
The one thing I've never really got, because I grew up with sort of laddie mates. You know how at school you have like, and going into college, you have like your close circle, and then you have people that sort of come in every now and again. My close circle is sort of laddie, go to the football, get hammered, and then wake up the next morning, oh, I was hammered last night. But then I kind of look at it as, why is it something to be proud of? You had that much to drink that you don't remember what happened and you didn't know what was going on. So it's not a case for I'll never be patronising towards people that drink. It's each to their own. It's your opinion, but I'm entitled to mine. It's not really for me.
No, I'm fully with that. Fully with that. Like that is literally my thing where it's like, you know, remember that they're not you. So you know, you got to take it in that. But yeah, like my thing is like if I was to go out with friends, like I remember getting annoyed a couple of years back because both my close mates that I've spoken about in this pod, they both went out to the pub, and I was like, why didn't you invite me? And they're like, oh, we didn't want to make you feel awkward. And I'm like, bro, I can have fun without drinking. Like I don't care if I'm laughed at for having a lemonade on the table. Like I don't need to have a beer. You know what I mean? Like respectfully. Like I'm sure you've seen it in some of my streams. I can be a dickhead. I can have fun, banter, and I'm not drunk. You know what I mean? Like I might be a little bit buzzing because I've got a monster in me, but I'm not, you know, pissed as a fart or whatever. So, but yeah, no, I feel that fully. Fully with you. Back on the UFC quickly. My favorite is at this minute is Sugar Sean. I feel like his wrestling needs to get better, and he knows that himself. He's spoken about it, but I don't know what it is, man. I just think it's this day and age. It goes in waves. You know, you've got the era of Chocolate Dale, Tito Ortiz. You know, then you move into John Jones, and they wrestle, but they're like, they just want to strike, they just want finishes, so on and so forth. And now we're in the Dagestani era, the shoot for the jocks and hold down and control time. And I feel like a lot of people overrate Khabib Nurmagomedov because of what he did, but respectfully, I love Khabib Nurmagomedov. I think he's a great fighter. I think he's brilliant because he did look for the finish. That fight versus Michael Johnson, I deserve this, brother. You know this. I deserve this. And he's just smacking him in the face. It's like, bro, respectfully, you're saying to this guy, you deserve this, and then you're punching him in the mouth. Like what's going on? So I like him, but I do think he's very overrated through like the media and so on, because like they always push it. And this is a thing in this day and age. And I think it's the TikTok age. Bro, the amount of people I get annoyed at for saying, oh yeah, he's a GOAT. And it's like, no, brother, like, let's not do this.
You only have 2 title defenses.
Literally, like, and that's the problem. And look who those title defenses were against. They're not against superstars. They're against average level fighters. And I know that's a bit disrespectful. And, obviously you've got to have respect for anybody that wants to get in there, because you could get damaged, you could die in the ring, you know what I mean? Octagon, whatever. But, like, come on, man. Look, what Islam's already surpassed him, in my opinion. What Islam has done, he knocked out Volk. He's taken the bout from Oliveira. You know what I mean? I do feel like he's a bit of a...
I'd put him above Jones, because I think Jones has had some questionable decisions in his career, and also the amount of history of like PEDs and stuff. But for some reason, it's just constantly ignored. I think Islam's right up there. And he is quite entertaining to watch, because he doesn't just always look for control time. He will go for the chokes. He will go for like an arm on, go for something like he did against Moicano. Got him down straight into the choke, but done in round 1. So yeah, I quite like Islam right now. Actually, I'm almost talking myself into him becoming one of my favourite fighters every time I watch him. Because I think he's good.
No, and that's the thing, though, isn't it? You want to be entertained. You know what I mean? And like, I'm not one of those fans that get angry at them for taking them down and controlling them, because I know like it's not just laying on someone. You know what I mean? It is very technical.
I respect it, but just don't like it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? Like there's having respect for it, and then there's just, like, I get it. I fully understand it. Like the fact of, having your legs in a certain position, which sounds dodgy, but like it is literally, if you have your legs in the wrong position, they can get up, they can push to the cage, having your hands down on the ground, because that's what a lot of them do now, so they don't get striked, because you can't strike our ground opponent, which is such a dumb rule. Bro, I grew up on Pride, where they used to be able to kick you in the face, like soccer kick, straight in the mouth, and so on. So like, yeah, I don't think Hamzat's a bad fighter. I think he's a good fighter, but I feel like if you're gonna scream on the mic, I kill everybody. No, you don't, brother. You hug everybody, like, respectfully.
Yeah.
And he would kick the shit out of both of me and you in 2 seconds. This isn't a hard man take, like I'm anything special. But like, yeah, it's just not for me. He was always gonna beat Duplessis, though, because Duplessis himself isn't the best fighter. You know what I mean? He's very unorthodox. Yeah, like just like the striking and like all these weird movements he does. And he was a champion for a reason. He beat Izzy. You know what I mean? And I get it fully. But like for me personally, McGregor era, knocking people out. That's what I want to see. You know what I mean? I feel like that's why. Like I was always a UFC guy, boxing shit, and I always used to have arguments with people at school and so on. It's like, yeah, boxing's better. And I'm like, no, it's not. Like this is one part of mixed martial arts you're talking about, you know what I mean? But now I'm more into boxing than I am UFC, and I think that is because TKO, and you'll know this because of wrestling as well. They just don't care. It's all about the dollar. They don't care. Like the fights that they used to put on. Like the other day I was talking to one of my mates, and I was like, look at the old cards, like that McGregor card in New York. It was baller after baller, and you'll get this as a football term. It's just great fights after great fights. Now they're crap. It's 2 title fights and then just filler. You know what I mean? It's like having Hyun-Min Son and Harry Kane, and then a bunch of teenagers you don't even know.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's like, yeah, man, it's sad, to be honest. The sport is dying, in my opinion, and I feel like
I agree.
that's why me and you relate to Guru, because we grew up watching great fights and so on and so forth, and now we're just getting shite. You know what I mean? That's why Tom Aspinall is so loved in the UK, not just because he's from the UK, because fight time, less than 2 minutes.
He's exciting to watch. Yeah.
You know, like you're not going to want to stay up to watch Hamza because you know he's going to go to full 25 minutes. You know what I mean? So staying up till 5, 6 in the morning, you're half asleep and all of this, to watch someone hug someone. Like, if I want to hug someone, I'll just get in bed with my missus and give her a cuddle. You know what I mean? Like, I know that I've stayed up to every single fight Tom's had. I've watched every single one, even the bad ones, you know, when he broke his leg and so on, because I knew that within 2 minutes, there's going to be something. You know what I mean? And that's like, again, as you as a Tom fan, you'll know this as well. Do you watch his channel, Tom's channel?
Yes.
Yeah. So you'll know that, like, the backstage stuff when they were talking to Habib for the most recent fight, he was literally saying, and his dad was saying, his trainers were saying, take your time. Because they always, you know, there's that, obviously, that famous clip of him saying, you know, you want to take me to the 3rd and 4th round, fucking take me there then. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. No one could. So that's what he was doing with the Cyril Gane fight. He was going to take him into the later rounds to show what he's got. But I feel bad for him, man. I really, really do. Like, the guy's got kids. He's actually got kids that have autism. Like, he has kids that aren't.
He's a good bloke.
Yeah.
He's a good person. You can tell. I mean, he's the kind of person, if I'm any judge of character, nothing dodgy is going to come out about him. He just comes across a really genuine, hard-working, like, family man. Yeah, polite, respectful. And you don't get that with a lot of fighters, especially, because egos are up here, and Tom's ego is reined in. But when he gets into that octagon, he's mad. I almost wish his ego would be a little bit bigger sometimes. But with the whole John Jones stuff, like doing the duck thing, I mean, it'd be a bit funny if he came out of the closet and did that instead. But yeah, I like Tom.
Yeah, bro, he makes me die, honestly. Hey, John.
Yeah, how's it going? He's got such like a Manchester accent.
Yeah.
It couldn't be. All right, hello, John. How's it going?
I got nothing against you. I just think I can beat you.
And there's a part of me that's, Tom's respectful. There's a part of me that's going to beat the cat out of him. You're going to batter him in there. Yeah.
Yeah, no, fully. But that's the thing, though, isn't it? Like, overall, like, you know that John Jones is a savage. There's no going against his record, his run, anything. He went through hell. Like, the amount, when you actually look at it from Stephen Bonner all the way up to Reyes, he went through hell. Look, Machida, he had Rampage Jackson, Rashad Evans, Gustafsson twice, Cormier twice. You know what I mean? Like, there's some big fights there. But 30 million, brother. No one's getting 30 million.
No,
and that's what they offered you to fight Tom. And you said no. So, is he a duck? Yeah, he is. He ducked him. He's a pussy. Like, that's what a pussy does. Because, and again, same thing we said about Hamza. John Jones would elbow both of us and we'd both be on the floor crying or knocked out. But, like, when you talk about fighters and stuff, he knew that Tom was going to beat him. Because Tom has wrestling, he has jiu-jitsu, he has boxing, and he's got fight time of 2 minutes. John Jones isn't a stupid person.
He's far quicker than Jones, That's why he fought Steve.
Moves like a middle.
And that money is basically, I think even Dana called his bluff on one of the offers, and he said, "No, I'm going to retire." It's like you never had any intention of doing. Pay me this money, and I'll do it. And it's just pricing yourself out of that fight.
Yeah, no, I'm with you fully. Spurs. You've got away from it for an hour and a half. We have to talk about it. Were you there in Bilbao?
Sorry?
Did you go to Bilbao?
No, so I watched it at the home ground, so at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I went there with my...
They have it on like a big screen?
Yes, so there were like 8 screens in the middle of the pitch. This is one thing I genuinely believe that we do better than any other club. Did it for the 2019 Champions League final. We did it again last year, and there were like 8 massive screens on the pitch, and obviously the screens in the corner, and the whole place was pretty much packed out. And I was in the south stand, and yeah, it was incredible. I went there with my dad and granddad, and all 3 of us have never seen Spurs win a trophy together. I'd never seen Spurs win a trophy. This was the first one. When we won it in like 2008, I was 1. So if I remembered it, I've got some sort of superpower. So to be there with my dad and my granddad's had a lot of health issues as well, when multiple times thought he lost him. So to be there with my dad and him, all 3 of us, watch Spurs win a trophy, the thing that, like, obviously family connects us, but the thing that really connects us, yeah, it was really special, man. It was really, really special. And it makes it all worth it. It makes you realise why you love the football club you do, why you put up with the pain, why you're ranting every week, this manager's bad, this player's bad. When you get a moment like that, and Juno's a Bayern fan, watching Bayern live, seeing Bayern like win multiple trophies, Champions Leagues, that moment of winning silverware, yes, it's really special. And I don't even mean it in a patronising way to people who have, but I hope that they can see their clubs, apart from Arsenal, don't want them to. But I hope most fans get to see their clubs winning some sort of silverware.
No, I'm with you fully. Because I remember doing a video around Kane, and I remember you on your figure. It was in Ange we trust. And then whatever happened. And then for him to, like, where do you sit with Ange?
For winning that Europa League, he's a legend, in my opinion. Despite everything that happened, only 3 managers have won a European trophy with Spurs: Bill Nicholson, Keith Burkinshaw, and Ange Postecoglou. Did he do a good enough job in his second season? No. But in hindsight, it looks a little bit better every week, because this season has just been even worse. It's been a disaster. We realised that over the last 20 years, the manager hasn't been a problem. Loads of managers could have done better. Frank could have done better. Nuno could have done better, you know. Ange could have done better. But the biggest problem are the owners. It stems from the top. Everyone who's not a Spurs fan who I speak to says, why aren't your club successful? You have the stadium, we have the infrastructure. It's because we have the house, but we haven't put in the furniture. So no one wants to live there. We can't attract the top players to move to this house, to come to this stadium. And with Ange, I feel like every day that goes by, the job that he did looks better. Those first few months under Ange, the football that he played was insane, but it was so entertaining at the start. You're just seeing your team, like, every opportunity, bomb up the pitch, try and score. No dominating possession, let's be patient. No, let's sit in and counter-attack. Just as soon as we get the ball, let's try and score straight away, basically. But then when it didn't work, it was awful to watch. It was painful. But that Europa League was special. And I mean, the guy's one of the most quotable managers everywhere. Every meme page, like that guy's jokes, the biggest meme page, I think, in the country. Every day I see something about Ange. Some sort of like caption, and it's just who we are, mate. Season 3 is better than season 2. And what made him so cool as well, you hear a lot of his team talks and stuff. He's relatable. He's a genuinely nice person. But coming out with that line, I don't usually win things. I always win things in my second year. Nothing's changed. And then to go on and actually do it with a club like ours that win F4, yeah, fair play to him. I'd take it back at Spurs at the moment, in all honesty.
No, I'm with you.
I don't think after winning that. I wanted him sacked before, but then we win that and you get caught up in the emotions. And yeah, for me, it was the wrong choice.
No, I hear it. Because, like, you know, obviously I can't put myself in your position because I do support a team that wins, you know, nearly every year or whatever. But, like, I do understand in a certain sense where it's like, where you come from, you know, obviously, you know, realistically, should you be in the big 6? No, not realistically. Well, the way your clubs, you know, run, you know, and I've said this and I'll keep saying it. I'll say it to you. I've said it on my main channel. You have the best stadium in England. Like, Old Trafford is probably the best for history because of how, like, what players have been there and so on. But that stadium is beautiful. I've been there twice. Yeah, I think twice. Once for a stadium tour. and then I've been there for the Bayern game, the friendly that we had. But that honestly, that stadium is absolutely stunning. Like at night, it's beautiful. It's like that's the thing. You're having boxing fights there. You're having NFL there. Like you need to be like the next big thing. You know what I mean? And I know I'm saying things that you know because you live it. But like if you actually did get a Saudi owner, or you did get, you know, someone with money, bro, like that golden chicken, the golden cockerel on top of the stadium would be glowing, bro. Because like
it's kind of over for the rest of the league if we did, because the infrastructure we have is better than any other club, but the owners that we have just aren't willing to put the money in, and it's more viewed as a business than a football club. So I would sell I'd sell myself in the Saudis to buy my football club, man. I don't care if it's wrong. I want to see Spurs win titles, and Champions Leagues and things. But
100%.
what you just said there is what a lot of Spurs fans won't say, which is mad to me. We have a lot of fans that just, I think, don't want to accept the state of the football club. And you have a section of the fan base that just will not have anything negative said about the club, even if it's for the betterment. And this is where we fall into like, well, Spurs aren't a big club. You have a lot of people, you know, that say, "Oh, we are," but then a lot of our fan base accept mediocrity. Whereas a club like yours, you lose 2 games in a row, it's a crisis. If we lose 10 games in a row, hopefully we stay up. It's just the attitude from certain fans isn't the attitude that you see from a lot of big clubs. History-wise, I'll disagree with what you said, because I think history-wise, we've been a big club for about 80 out of the last 100 years. Okay. The problem is 20 of those 100 years where we have been a big club in the last 20. So right now, our Chelsea big club than us are Arsenal 100%. But in terms of looking how clubs move around, we were a bigger club than not so much Arsenal, but especially Chelsea, City, a lot of these clubs and teams for years and years. But yeah, we have the best stadium, I think, in England. It's up there in the world. We have, I think, great support, but it's just sometimes too much support, sometimes not willing to take action against the owners, sometimes not having the balls to actually call it a crisis. And like I say, Bayern fans, I imagine, because I remember you telling me about it, you lose a couple of games, everyone needs to be fine, things need to be immediately sorted out. You lose a couple of games at Spurs, there aren't consequences. So how can you expect to move the club forward when you don't have standards? I'm sorry, I've rambled on there, Liam. My battery is running down on my phone, so I can only do about 5 to 10 more minutes. Otherwise, I'll just suddenly black out, like the end of The Sopranos, funny enough. And,
no, I'm with you. Who for you is more of a legend, Harry Kane or Heung-min Son?
More of a legend, Heung-min Son. If you would have said better player, Harry Kane, because he is, in my opinion, he is one. I genuinely think he's one of the best strikers of all time. He's at least up there in the top list. You can get this now,
bro. You can get on my train. You can get on my train when we win that Champions League. I'm saying he's the best striker in the world of all time.
Well, I want you guys to win it because of Harry Kane, and the guy's just a phenomenal player. His finishing's ridiculous, but when he drops deep, plays long balls forward. It's like he's invented a position. Whenever I watch him for you guys, I watched him not on the Dortmund game just gone, but I watched your game against Dortmund at the start of the season, and he's literally everywhere on the pitch. He's linking up everything. And the guy with his goals as well, to score 30 goals in a season where we finished 8th and we were a shambles in his last, is insane. And if he stayed at Spurs, he would have broken the record in a rubbish team. And you see the difference. Even with Sonny stayed last season, finished 17th. Harry Kane was papering over so many cracks in that team. When he left, we have really fallen off the cliff. But Son, for me, is more of a legend. Is he a great player? Is he as good as Kane? No, but is he a great player? Yes. But the reason Kane wasn't necessarily disloyal, but Son was extremely loyal. Said, I don't want to move anywhere. I want to stay with Spurs. I want to win a trophy. And he did. And he didn't have the most. He didn't have the biggest part to play in it last season. He was definitely involved. And yeah, Sonny's just such a nice guy as well. In general, just genuinely loves Tottenham. So both are legends in my opinion. Kane's the better player, But great question, because I think the bigger legend because of that Europa League is his son.
I hear that because he was the guy that won the trophy. Do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think that Harry Kane will break Lewandowski's record?
What is the record?
He's 11 goals away.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think he will. Yeah,
Bro, he's already got 50.
Every time I watch him, with you guys, I actually think he's getting better. I
No,
actually think he's got better.
100%.
But the guy that turned him into this player is Jose Mourinho.
Yes.
Because before, under Pochettino, he was a great finisher. But I saw it firsthand, and you've probably seen it as well. In that All or Nothing documentary, Jose said, I want to take you here. What Jose started doing with Kane was dropping him deeper, having players run off him, and then you see the quality he can have in balls forward. But what he'll do as well, he'll play a great ball forward, then he'll run into the box and finish it. So he started a move and finished it now.
Yeah.
And he's just...
I'm so glad you said that. Because I've been saying that on the main channel for so long and people don't believe me. I'm like, bro, Mourinho made him into a striker / De Bruyne era, like, and just mixed them both together. You know what I mean? Bro, he's already got 50 goals for club and country. He's already got 50 goals. You know what I mean? Like, if he has a wonderful season, if we go all the way in the champs, all the way in the DFB Pokal, and we go all the way, obviously, in the league, and then for England, he goes all the way to the final. He could break that Messi record.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
He's an absolutely ridiculous player. And for me, he's still underrated. People go, Kane is an incredible player. He's not underrated. No, saying that is making him underrated. I've seen incredible players. Kane isn't an incredible. He's a special player for me.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of them. Like I probably won't see another striker at Spurs like him. Like Greaves was there in the 60s and 70s, and then Kane's better than Greaves. So he's one of the best players, if not the best player we've ever had. One thing Spurs have always had, despite not winning loads, is like great players like Gascoigne in the 90s, and Hoddle and Ardiles and people like that. But yeah, Modric failed, but Kane, the guy's just. I can praise him all day. It's incredible.
No, I'm with you. There we go. Bro, me and you could speak forever. We generally could. You know what I mean? And we'll definitely talk about going to that AEW show off camera and so on, because that would be sick. But yeah, bro, it's been amazing to have you on. This generally could have been a 4 or 5 hour pod. But yeah, I won't take any more of your time up. Big up to you, Fully. Again, your channel will be in the link below. People go and check him out. Fully, obviously, it's a Spurs channel, but he makes good content either way. And that recent video you did a couple of months ago, the history of Spurs, was a great video, bro. Fantastic video, and you can see that by the views. You can see that the views went up. So, but yeah, check him out. Thank you for coming on, my bro. And yeah, man, bless up, people.
Pleasure to be on, mate. Thank you.
100%. Peace.